근데 지금 엄마가 먹는데 원래 갈 거야.
네.
자, 고기 만두, 그리고 만두, 그리고 만두.
My devil's eyes turning yellow, lost half its leaf, right there in the corner, beside the coffee machine. Gave up without warning, didn't see it at first. Turn my back for a moment till it loosen its third, and I curse my blunder. Pick petals for keys, and I can't help but wonder what
I feel so alive as I reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out to the sky. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my
이거는 나중에 죽으면
콜라는 제로 콜라라고 오리지널이지? 제로로.
용기에 나가면 돼. 젓가락 먹어? 아니 아니.
was your entire world until I stood alone in a storm. You took the sunshine, the flames are gone now, and I watched you walk straight out of that door. Promises got lost in the dust. Your boots by the door. You're not coming home. Love like wildfire. I was your entire world until I wasn't anymore. Oh, heartache, you left me behind. That's not a man, only a coward. Gone now, you're chasing the wind. No longer my man. You're just a coward. She wrote you a letter so you wouldn't forget her. Wish I could care less. It isn't my place to know what it says. My heart is a front page. It won't act its own age. It aches as it bends.